Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Now, this beer review wasn't going to be one that I was going to do, and it's from the Perfect Draft or Perfect Draft Pro. Doesn't really matter. Perfect Draft, and we've got a keg of Lowenbrau in there at the moment. 5.2%, £35.50 for 6 litres. Got it set at 3 degrees. It's currently down to 4. Like I say, I didn't plan on doing all this, but the reason I am doing it is literally because I've had about 4 pints this afternoon of it. And I got to, I think after about a pint and a half, I was thinking, do you know what, this beer tastes different to me from when I first reviewed it. And I think it was probably within my first 10 reviews when I first started in 2021. It was one of my very early ones anyway. And although it was a great beer, I'm sitting here drinking it now, and believe it or not, this is the first time, pretty certain it is the first time I've ordered a keg since I've done the review, because since then, reviews, and then new kegs come out, and then you just don't get around to doing it. Always liked the beer, but to me it seems a little bit different now. Whether that is down, I don't think it's, highly doubt it's down to the brewery or the beer that they're producing, but I actually wonder if it's just down to me and how my tastes have changed or what I pick up in beers. So I've decided to give it another review and give you my view on it again. So I'm using the old new Lowenbrau glass, though I will say it's had about 4 pints through it, so it is looking a little bit murky. There is even just a smidgen left in there of that one. But yeah, what I'm going to do is give this a top up. I won't do a video of the pour. I'll just pause it, come back, and we'll take a look at the beer, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Now, I'm not going to say it's a massive difference, but it kind of is. So let's get over there, do a pour of this beer, come back and give you the review. Back in the tick. So we're back. Machine has stopped doing its thing. Obviously I poured the beer and you get the old the pump kicking in. But beer in a glass, I haven't done nothing to it. Maybe I always find a proper clean glass gives you a bit of a thicker head. I was maybe a little bit generous on the pour, or over tilty if you like. So the head, it's only about a finger, but it's about a finger and a half. Lots of bubbles going up, as you can see. We got a bit of chill haze on the glass, and that has literally just come from pouring the beer. But we got a lovely golden straw looking beer with plenty of bubbles going up. Yeah, the head has gone down a bit, but we still got a finger of compact white head. Looks really good. So let's dive in on the nose and see what we get. Now, I know probably most of it is going to be similar, but there's certainly difference in flavour, and even on the nose. I think it's just, I think when I've done my review, I don't know, maybe I'd had a few that night, I don't know, but certainly on the nose it feels a little bit more rounder. And like I said, I've had a few beers today, and the palate is adjusted to it, and it feels a little bit more rounder, a little bit more smoother. But on the nose, the Lowenbrau, like I say, it's a Hell style lager, which is something originally when I reviewed it I wasn't really sort of aware of. It was just a German lager. Now, on the nose, you're getting that slightly sweet bready maltiness. You are getting, for me in this keg, and like I said, it's the first time I've ordered this since I reviewed it, you're certainly getting more of a bready Hell's lager feel on the nose. Also, what you're not getting, which I think I did mention in the original one because I haven't watched it back, is a bit of a syrupy sort of aroma, a bit of a sticky aroma. I'm not getting it with this. Now, this is where I'm thinking, has the beer changed? And I would say, you know, for the better at the moment. I would say for the better. or is it just me? But it's definitely got more of a Hell's feel than I recall it ever having. But again, like I say, I don't recall it ever being more really of a Hell's kind of beer. But it smells really good. Pardon me. So, the head has gone down. It's a dirty glass now. I've had a few pints out of it. Pardon me. So let's dive in. Lowenbrau, 5.2%. Perfect Draft Pro. Down at 4 degrees at the moment. Makes no odds. It's Lowenbrau on the Perfect Draft, whichever machine you got. Let's dive in. Cheers. And yeah, for me the beer does feel different. It does feel different. I think when I reviewed it last time, it was one of them ones. I'll tell you how early it was when I reviewed this beer. It was in my early days when the wife didn't know I'd started doing beer reviews. So I was a little bit secretive about it. But it was one of the early ones. It was late on when I reviewed it. It was during lockdown. I'd probably had quite a few beers anyway at the time. I probably felt a little bit rushed. Whereas now, I don't. So maybe I'm picking more up. But let's go in. Start getting going. Body wise, 5.2%. It's a decent body. Feels like a 5.2% beer. It's not overly heavy, but there is some weight to it. It's a little bit sticky on the mouth. Although the carbonation, you could say, looks quite busy. And it's quite ironic really, because it's a nucleated glass all the way around. But there seems to be bubbles just from one side, which is a little bit mental. A little bit mental. But yeah, it's lots of little sort of bubbles. The carbonation doesn't make it feel rough. It's quite smooth in the mouth. I said you don't get that syrupy sort of aroma from it, but there is a stickiness in the mouth. But it doesn't feel as sticky as it used to. For me, it used to feel quite sticky, quite syrupy. But this isn't feeling like that. Yeah. Crisp, clean, refreshing. Malty. A little bit sticky. There is a sweet side to it, but nowhere near what it used to be. Lemon. That lemon sort of citrus thing that you get with a beer. And the carbonation really brings out that sort of like peppery, spicy side, that sort of hoppy side to it. But what it does have, I think, more than it ever used to have, is that Hell's feel, that sort of bready feel. The bready feel was there, but I think that bready feel, it feels more. Now, whether that is because the beer has changed, which I highly doubt, I think it's probably just down to me, but this beer feels a lot more balanced than I ever thought it was. Like I say, I never really thought of it being a Hell's beer. I just thought of it being a German lager. And I'm sure in the review, I probably said it's kind of bready and that, but it just feels that little bit more now. And maybe that's just down to me. You know, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more experience with trying more beers. But this really does feel more like a Hell's lager now than it ever used to. And I think it actually tastes better than it ever used to as well. Pardon me. Pardon me. Yeah, I think this beer tastes better than it ever used to. less sweetness, less stickiness to it, less syrup kind of feel to it, more bready, a lot more balanced, a bit lighter I would say, and you can, I don't know, anyone out there that wants to complain about that, that's fine, but for me, Lowenbrau on the PD feels a much better beer than when I done it a good 2.5, 3 years ago. Now I know it's got a little bit lifeless. Generally I tend to use a nice clean glass. I've literally finished a beer, poured it in there. I believe that a dirty glass, once you've had a beer in it, it certainly it affects the beer. It affects the look, as in head wise and what have you, or head retention. So yeah, don't judge the looks of this beer on this review, but judge it on the taste. I think it's fantastic, and I would highly recommend it again. I mean, to me it's like going back in time, and I just think the beer's even better. So Lowenbrau on the Perfect Draft is an absolute excellent beer, well worth picking up, no doubt. If you've had it before, feel free to comment. If you haven't had it, you need to pick it up. Absolute belter of a beer. That's it for this beer review. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment, like, share the video, blah 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 blah, and I'll see you again soon on another. Cheers.